Yo, what's going on with y'all? It's your boy Neo XO bringing y'all the Black Clover episode 166 review. This is probably the most fire episode. We got my boy Yami. You know, Yami just every time Yami in the episode, like he be on some real stuff. Like he really went after Dante. But before we get into Yami, we gotta talk about the conclusion of last episode with Nero seemingly Megicula and Vanica. But like I'm gonna just say right now that didn't happen. But before we get too deep into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We hitting 4,000 subscribers today, so let's make that happen. And with that being said, let's play the intro. So hopping right into this episode, they didn't wait for nothing. They basically started like right off the bat with some pressure, and I seen my boy Nero say on Twitter this episode was fire from start to finish, and like he was definitely right because this episode was fire from start to finish. So starting off, basically Nero got hit with that like from Megicula. Like it just looked like she was in so much pain. It low-key looked like Laura Petrica was in more pain though, because Laura Petrica had the curse. But basically Megicula came out from Vanica and took over like half of her body and was able to dispel Nero's attempt at sealing her away. So basically at 70%, it was already activated to where it weakened Nero's spell to not be able to do what it needed to do. Like if it would have happened like maybe at an earlier percent, she might have been sealed away, but also maybe not, because if you guys remember, Laura Petrica, or they mentioned last episode that she needed to be spilling out a bunch of magic. So if she wasn't spilling out a certain amount, they still might have not been able to seal her. So that basically happened. Like Megicula broke out of it, and after Megicula broke out of the seal, they basically from that point on, they was just struggling. They really wasn't doing much against Megicula and Vanica. There really wasn't much that they could do. They were just struggling. Like literally after she broke out the seal, she's using so much devil power that is overwhelming, and she basically knows that these people are too weak to defeat her at this point. And once she realizes that, she's no longer having fun, because it seems like Vanica just fights for fun. She's kind of like luck, if you ask me. And once she realized they were just struggling, it was no more fun to her. She was just like, all right, this isn't even fun. And she low-key was about to just straight up kill Laura Petrica. And what ended up making her not kill Laura Petrica is Noelle. Noelle had like a final attempt at injuring Megicula, and Megicula was actually impressed by Noelle. But basically another thing that happened that's pretty important, we have to see that Undine is now cursed. So Megicula mentions that this is the first time that she has cursed a water spirit. That leads me to believe like there possibly are different reincarnations of the water spirit, or there are just multiple water spirits perhaps in a different continent, because we do know that there are different continents in Black Clover. So maybe there's another water spirit, or maybe this is like the main water spirit and like there's lesser water spirits, or maybe she just meant spirits in general. Probably something, one of those hypotheses, theories, whatever you want to call it. So basically we see some flashbacks of Laura Petrica and Undine. And some people want Noelle to get Undine, but the thing about that is like you see these flashbacks of Laura Petrica and Undine, and they just have so much of a relationship with each other. It'll be weird if, you know, Undine just leaves Laura Petrica and goes to Noelle, but we're just gonna have to see about that in the future. I mean, I guess anything is technically possible. Now, the thing about Noelle is she has that battle spirit, like just like Asta, especially since she's around Asta so much. I know for a fact Asta rubbed off on her. So basically she's on her last leg. Like she really can't do too much, but she's gonna push until she literally can't move anymore. So she made one final push at Megicula and Vanica, and she ended up going like point blank see Dragon's Roar, and the Crimson Beast basically annihilated it, which was weird to see, because if you remember way back at the Seabed Temple arc, Noelle's Sea Dragon was just super powerful against Veto, and you can see the differential between Megicula and Noelle, because this was a point blank Sea Dragon's Roar, and she just completely in a split second just annihilated the whole spell. Like, she just made it completely go away. Now Noelle did manage to hit her again, and basically with her lance, she hit her with her lance, and basically this attack seemingly didn't do anything, but internally she has some internal bleeding after the fact, so like it did do a little bit. So it was kind of surprising that, you know, Noelle was able to get that amount of damage. It was surprising to her. She was like, what? That actually did some damage. And basically it's just crazy what's going on at the Heart Kingdom right now. The whole vibe switched up from last episode. Like, let me know if y'all feel the same. Like, I feel the whole vibe changed in this episode. But anyways, now we get to talk about Captain Yami going against Dante. Now, this fight was adapted pretty well, if you ask me. It was a good length fight, you know. Personally, I would have rathered if it was a whole episode, because, you know, sometimes Black Clover has fights that last whole episodes, but this one was half an episode between Dante and Yami, and it was a good fight. Now, the reason I say it was a good fight is because to me they were like good match. It was a good matchup for each other because they're both strong and on the same level. Sometimes we see fights where people just not on the same level, and that don't mean the fight gonna be bad, but it just mean they're not on the same level. Like, for example, Vanica and Noelle, they're just not on the same level, so it just is what it is. But Dante and Yami seem like they on basically on the same level, so they going at each other, and Dante is just like, all right, I'm gonna get serious, and he like, all right, let me use 80%, and then Yami like, so that's what you call getting serious? Then, like, you know, his devil marks increased on his face. He has black lines on his face now, like, just, you know, more on his face. Like, basically Yami made a joke about it too. Yami, is funny because Yami just be making jokes, but Yami, the thing about Yami is, this is why I think Yami one of the strongest captains, because he just does what needs to get done, in my opinion. Like, whatever need to be done, like, he gonna get it done, you know. He's that type of person. Like, he just gonna get it done. So like, he knows he gotta defeat Dante or the underworld gonna open and the world gonna end. So he's like, all right, this man's strong, he creepy, he got all kind of mana, but I gotta get it done. So he just keeps going and he keeps going, and they're just really having a fight. And, you know, not really much to say about that except it's really a good fight. You know, the choreography good. Dante looked cool in this form that he's at 80% right now, and Yami's just going at him. And basically another line that I want to point out is Dante's like, this is the power of a human possessed by a devil, and then Yami's like, Yami's just so like straightforward. He's like, all right, I'm gonna show you the power of a human. And it's just funny. I don't know, that's funny to me. But Yami is on equal footing with Dante. Dante basically said, like, there should be no human who is on my level, and yet here there is a human that's on my level. Just imagine if you would have met Julius. But anyways, Dante is, you know, basically struggling, but at the same time, Yami just going hard. Like, so I mean, it's kind of like a back and forth. That's the best way to put this fight. It's kind of like a back and forth. So sometimes Yami's struggling and sometimes Dante's struggling, and basically, seemingly Yami was defeated because Dante just hit him with a big boulder, you know, and it's on top of Yami, and then everybody's like, oh, Yami done for, because like he just got smashed with a boulder. But what ends up happening is he just breaks the boulder and comes out, and he comes in like this elite pose. Like, this form is so, like, this pose that he does, like this stance, like basically he kind of like, y'all seen the stance, I'm gonna put it on the screen, but it's a cool looking stance. And he's like, all right, he condensed the mana zone, he condensed it even further, and then he went ahead and he did a death thrust. So basically, clean move, tore straight through Dante's body, and, you know, Dante got the regenerative magic that, you know, heals his body, the body magic, and he just heals his body right after that. But it's just cool to see how Yami just blew straight through his body. So even though he regenerated after that, it's still cool to see. Honestly, they could have left it on a cliffhanger. I think that would have been a good spot to leave it on the cliffhanger, because that's what they did in the manga. Like, right after he got his body blown out, we had to wait to see what would happen. But in this episode, we see he's still alive, and after that, Yami's like, all right, this guy is creepy, he got so much mana, I can't beat this dude by myself. And basically Yami would have been able to win, but like, this dude has hacks, bro. Like, he literally can regenerate his whole body. He can't deteriorate. So Yami's like, all right, I can't win this alone. I need you, Asta. And like, this is a significant moment because this is the first time Captain Yami calls Asta by his name. You know, usually he calls Asta Brat or something like that, and this time he's like, all right, I gotta put some respect on Asta's name. I need his help. And basically he's like, all right, Asta, you gotta just keep up. And Asta immediately gets up. And it's crazy because I was thinking, I was like, Asta, get up, get up, get up. Like Asta could have been got up, in my opinion, but like he just needed that push. You know, he needed somebody to tell him get up. So basically once Yami was like, get up, he came immediately to his side, and Yami like, all right, just keep up. And the reason Yami's saying keep up, because if Asta can't keep up, then first of all, he's gonna die, or Yami's gonna die trying to protect him because he's not able to keep up. And it's just a cool scene to see Asta get up and be on side to side with Captain Yami, and that's where the episode ends off. So next episode we in for another treat. This whole arc has been amazing, and we still have some more episodes left in this arc, so we're just getting started with this. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, go ahead and leave it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. As always, it's been your boy NeoXO, and I'm out.